Hello, Crestview kids. Today we're going to be talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and we're going to be in the book of Daniel, and we're continuing on in our series on Daniel. Dylan's doing the first two videos, and I'm following up with this one. So I hope you've watched those prior to this one, and if you've not, that's okay. You can join in right now. But we're in the book of Daniel. We're doing this series, and we're excited to be able to bring these videos to you. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about three ordinary guys that do an extraordinary thing. They don't do it, but God works through them. So to start the story off, we have to first realize how they end up in the fiery furnace. Chapter 3 of Daniel opens up with King Nebuchadnezzar. He's the king of Babylon, and he makes this golden image and he puts it on top of the hill. And he instructs and he makes everybody come and bow down to this image. Whenever a flute's played or a song's played or anything like that, the people are supposed to bow down and worship this idol that King Nebuchadnezzar has made. They all do that until these three Jewish boys refuse to do it. And King Nebuchadnezzar said, if you refuse to bow down to this image that I've made out of gold, then I'm going to throw you in this big fiery furnace. And it was a huge furnace. It wasn't just like a little wood stove. It was this huge furnace, and they had to bring in tons of wood to keep it going. And it was very hot. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, we're not going to bow down to this image that you made. We serve a God that we bow down to, and he is the one true God. This God that you have made is an image, and it's not a real God. So we're not going to bow down to this image that you've carved, because they knew the Ten Commandments. They weren't going to sin against God, and they knew that God would protect them. So it made King Nebuchadnezzar very angry. He got so mad that he said, not only am I going to throw you into the furnace, I'm going to heat it up 7 times hotter than I usually would. So he instructed his men to heat the fire up 7 times hotter. So they got more wood and they got more air going to it, and they just got this fire just so hot indeed. When they took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego up to the furnace, the men that were taking them up there got consumed by the fire and they died themselves. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego went into the furnace, and King Nebuchadnezzar says, I thought I instructed you to throw 3 guys in the furnace. And his servants said, you did. And King Nebuchadnezzar says, well, I see 4 people in the furnace. What King Nebuchadnezzar didn't realize is that the God that they served was our God, the true God, the one true God. And that Jesus was in the fiery furnace with them. And that's what King Nebuchadnezzar was seeing. He was seeing Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but he was also seeing Jesus right in there with them. And it puzzled the king, and it confused him, and he was like, what in the world? You know, how are they in there, and how are they standing? And then they walk out. And when they come out, their clothes didn't even smell like smoke, and their hair wasn't singed or anything. They weren't burnt, they weren't hurt or anything. So these guys have been in this fiery furnace, and nothing happened to them. The guys, even his servants that took them in there, were killed instantly when they got close to the furnace. So King Nebuchadnezzar says, you serve a mighty God. And he says, I want all my people to serve. Don't stop them from serving their God, because their God that they serve is the one true God. So just remember, it's a great Bible story to when you're struggling with something, when you're afraid of something, when you think something's too hard, when you think life gets too hard. Just know that Jesus is right beside us. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were in the furnace, Jesus was with them. Well, guess what? Jesus is with us through all the situations that we have in life. So I just wanted to encourage you today just to know that when you're facing something hard, when you think there's no hope, or when you think, man, I don't know if I'm going to get through this, or this is a terrible situation that I'm in, just know that Jesus is there for you. Know that God cares about you, and know that you can ask Him to help you get through anything that you're going through, whether it be trouble at home, whether you're not doing good in school, or anything like that, whether you might be being picked on or bullied or anything like that. You just talk to God and let God know your thoughts, and let Him comfort you, because He's there for you, and He's willing and He's wanting to help you get through these situations, just like He was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So I hope you enjoying these videos. It's been a blessing for us to do them, and we can't wait to see you again. God bless you. Daniel chapter 3 verse 17 says, "If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and He will deliver us out of your hand, O king."